Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. It is a Friday, the 3rd day of October, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. Assistance pours into Cebu after it was struck by a magnitude 6.9 earthquake on Tuesday. However, residents remain fearful because of the frequent and strong aftershocks. Some see the Cebu earthquake as a glimpse of what Metro Manila might face if the big one hits. So what are the key things we need to know? We'll talk about that with Dr. Mahar Lagmay later in the program. And the rift in the Senate widens as Senator Panfilo Lacson takes another swipe on social media, this time sharing a cryptic post that compares fellow lawmakers to noisy animals. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first in the agenda, President Bongbong Marcos visited quake-hit Bogo City, Cebu. Marcos ordered a test city for residents still sleeping outdoors amid aftershocks. He also pledged 50 million pesos for Cebu province, plus aid for Bogo, San Remigio, Medellin, and nearby towns. Vice President Sara Duterte also visited nearby Medellin, personally handing out relief packs to displaced families. Let's get more updates from Bogo City, Cebu. We have mobile journalist Arles de los Santos reporting on the ground. Arles, magandang umaga sa'yo. Unang-una, kamusta dyan? Mukhang maaraw. Hindi naman tatamaan ba yan ng Bagyong Paulo?
Magandang umaga, Gretchen. No, nandito nga tayo ngayon sa Kabankalan, Bogo City, dito sa Cebu Province pa din. No? Kung makikita ninyo sa aking likuran, yung mga residente dito ay nakatayo pa rin ang kanilang mga tent na kanilang ginamit para kanilang gawing tulugan at pansamantalang pamamalagian. Pero dito sa kabilang bahagi nga, makikita ninyo sa aking likuran, ay nakapila naman yung mga residente dito dahil naghihintay sila ng relief goods mula sa isang pribadong grupo ng mga individual dito dahil ayon sa kanila, ang kanilang diskarte para makatawid sa kanilang pang-araw-araw, namamalimos sila ng tubig nang hihingi sila mismo sa mga kalsada para sila ay makainom at makakain dahil nananatiling wala pa rin trabaho. Marami dito sa mga residente dahil mayroon pa rin mga kalsada na hindi pa rin maayos para daanan ng mga tao dito ng anumang mga sasakyan. Bukod pa dyan, yung patuloy nga ng mga aftershock na nararanasan. Kanina lamang sa paglabas natin kung saan tayo na malagi ay talagang naramdaman nga natin yung malakas na lindol doon at gayon din sa kagabi bago matapos ang ating mga coverages.
Oo, Arles, gaano kalakas itong mga aftershocks na ito?
Actually, Gretchen, kung di tayo nagkakamali, hindi na ito aftershock eh. Ito ay talagang paggalaw ng lupa at talagang tumagal ito ng ilang mga segundo. No? At bukod pa dyan, yung kagabi na naranasan natin ay nasa 3 beses yun. At talagang ikinatakot natin yun dahil nandun tayo sa lugar kung saan may pinaniniwalaan pa din na katawan na nandoon sa ilalim. Pero nakakuha tayo ng balita mula sa Cebu Province Provincial Government na itinigil na ang search and retrieval operations dahil ayon sa otoridad ay na-account na ang lahat ng mga individual na naniniwalaang nawawala at ang kanilang pagpupukusan na ngayon imbis na search and retrieval ay ayun na nga daw yung early recovery at pagbibigay ng relief goods sa mga residente dito para makasiguro na makabalik dahan-dahan yung mga residente sa normal na pamamaraan ng kanilang mga pamumuhay.
Les, anong latest number natin of casualties and injured persons?
Sa kagabi na nakuha din natin na balita, Gretchen, yung 72 na ating iniulat mula nung umaga ay bahagyang bumaba ng 71 or 72 dahil may kailangan daw silang i-validate doon kung ano nga ba talaga yung nangyari sa mga individual. Pero sa ating pag-iikot kahapon ay nananatili ang mga numero, maaaring tumaas na lamang yung bilang ng mga residente na naapektuhan. So far kahapon, 47,000 ng mga families kung saan 170,000 naman ang mga individual ang nakaranas nga nitong magnitude 6.9 na lindol. Bukod pa dyan, Gretchen, yung mga relief operations dito ay nananatiling hamon na maabot ang bawat mga barangay dito. At sa isang panayam nga natin sa Municipal Administrator ng Medellin, ang kanilang panawagan ay wag lamang itong Bogo City ang kanilang tignan bilang epicenter at ground zero dahil magkakadugtong na mga munisipalidad daw ito at pare-parehas silang nakaranas nitong malakas na paglindol nga at yung mga kabuhayan ng kanilang mga kababayan ay kasama din doon sa mga naapektuhan.
Okay. Itong nasa likod mo, yan ba yung sitwasyon all over the city? At kamusta naman yung mga tahanan, ng mga residente dyan? Meron ba silang uuwian, babalikan? Sila ba ay nandyan lang para humingi ng relief? O pati yung kanilang mga bahay, kailangan ng rebuilding?
Meron dito, Gretchen, no, aabot sa mahigit 12 mga pamilya ang kasalukuyang namamalagi rito. So pati ang mga bata, dito na din sila nag-i-stay, no? Ito na rin yung parang naging playground nila. Ayon sa kanila, yung ilan sa kanilang mga bahay ay nagiba na, yung iba ay sumuko na yung mga dingding ng mga ito, no? Bukod pa dyan, ay mayroon din sa kanilang mga naiulat nga na talagang kailangan gumawa na ng kanilang panibagong bahay. So ayan, itong open parking space na to, ito na yung nagsilbing bahay nila. Yan, makikita mo, Gretchen, no? Sa ilalim ng mga puno. Actually, maliit na puno nga ito eh. Ito ay puno lamang ng alatilis kung hindi tayo nagkakamali. Pero sapat na yan para sa kanilang pamalagian at makatawid sa kanilang pang-araw-araw. Doon din hanggang sa dulo, no? Ganon din ang kanilang mga sitwasyon dito ngayon. Ito yung usual scenario dito, no? Sa pag-iikot natin, madami pa din ang may hawak ng kanilang mga placard na nangihingi ng tubig at nanlilimos ng pagkain dahil sila raw ay nagugutom na. Bukod pa dyan, wala silang trabaho at wala talaga silang makuhanan ng anumang resources. Bukod doon, syempre sa relief goods, no, na hindi naman pagkabigay ng national government ay mayroon ulit na darating. Talagang medyo nagiging close collaboration ito ng publiko at ng mga pribado institusyon para mas
Arles, medyo nawawala yung signal mo. Siguro doon ka muna sa open area.
natin.
There you
Itong
go.
mga kababayan natin na to, alas 7 ng umaga. Yes. Mas
Okay,
malinaw
okay
ba
na.
kayo,
Medyo
Gretchen?
mas malinaw na.
So ito, Gretchen,
Diyan ka lang
itong
muna.
mga kababayan natin na to sa likod ay alas 7 pa lamang ng umaga. Pumila na sila dito dahil ang kanilang nais talaga ay makakuha ng pagkain, makahingi dito, no? Ayon sa kanila, meron sa kanila na ang huling kain pa ay alas 9 pa ng gabi, no? Nag-agahan na at
We're getting a less on a little bit choppy network there. But we will have him report on the ground from Bogos City, Cebu all day as we get updates on the latest. Of course, he did mention that search and retrieval operations have been wrapped up in Bogos City, and the local government is now focusing on early recovery and relief. Again, a call out for food and water for the residents of Bogos City, Cebu, and same situation in surrounding municipalities. In the meantime, maraming salamat sa iyo, Arles de los Santos. If you're hearing us, mag-ingat ka dyan. Let's move on to weather. Severe tropical storm Paulo has further intensified as it approaches northern Aurora and southern Isabela. That's according to Pag-asa. The storm was last spotted 150 kilometers east of Casiguran, Aurora, with maximum sustained winds of 100 kilometers per hour near the center and gusts of up to 125 kph. It is moving west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Signal number 3 is in effect over the northern portion of Aurora, the central and southern portions of Isabela, northern portions of Quirino and Nueva Vizcaya, Mountain Province, Ifugao, the southeastern portion of Abra, northern portions of Benguet and La Union, the central and southern portions of Ilocos Sur. Meanwhile, signal number 2 has been raised over 10 areas, now flashed on your screens. And signal number 1 is hoisted over the rest of mainland Cagayan, including the Babuyan Islands, the rest of Aurora, the northern portion of Quezon, including Polillo Islands, Camarines Norte, the northern portion of Camarines Sur, Catanduanes, the rest of Apayao, Ilocos Norte, Pangasinan, Nueva Ecija, the northern portion of Bulacan and Zambales, Tarlac, and the northeastern portion of Pampanga. And coming right up, Could blockchain technology be the key to a more transparent national budget? The Senate is looking into that possibility. We'll break that down with Giro Reyes, the CEO and co-founder of Bitsquela. Don't go away. Morning Matters will return after a quick break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Vice President Sara Duterte and officials from the Office of the Vice President skipped the House of Representatives deliberations on their proposed 2026 budget. Palawan Representative Jose Alvarez, the budget sponsor, said Duterte set conditions for her to attend and defend it. One of her demands is the presence of President Bongbong Marcos during the budget hearing for the Office of the President. She also called for the lifting of the Immigration Lookout Bulletin against OVP officials. Meanwhile, the Senate is looking at blockchain technology to bring transparency to the national budget. Senator Bam Aquino has filed the National Budget Blockchain Act, saying it will make government spending more transparent, accountable, and open to the public. He explained that putting the budget on the blockchain will allow every peso to be tracked, helping curb corruption. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong welcomed the proposal, calling corruption in public works a cottage industry. And joining us today to tell us more about this technology, we have Giro Reyes, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Bitsquela, a platform that brings Filipinos closer to the world of cryptocurrency and blockchain education. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Morning, Gretchen. Thank you for having me here. No, always great to talk about blockchain, and yeah, of course, especially to a fellow Blue Eagle. Kumusta?
Oh, tanayo pala. Okay, Giro, this has been described as a nuclear bomb for corruption in the Senate plenary. Tell us how this technology will work alongside the budget.
Right, because as shown no, in yesterday's hearing about Senate Bill 1330, Senator Bam Aquino wants to make every peso traceable, no, from project proposal up until procurement as well, and up until the disbursements of funds para sa ating mga contractors. No? As unfortunately evidenced by current issues regarding DPWH, flood control projects and whatnot, it's very evident no, that the current system, when it comes to contracting and serving the government projects, no, is very gaped with holes. And I'm sure pwedeng i-take advantage ng mga tao. No? And this is due to the fact that you can edit stuff, you can hide different things you don't want people to see. You can basically, shape the whole process no, to your own liking and to your own advantage. No? And all that will not be possible na, no, with the blockchain implemented. Because with the blockchain, as Senator Bam and I described, no, would make every peso accountable for. Any data on the blockchain that you put, no, kahit as simple as XYZ or as complex as this or that, it will always be traceable back to the source. And this overall would serve kasi as its own check and balance. If, for example, no, let's say you're a corrupt politician or a bad actor who wants to take advantage, if alam mo, di ba, Gretchen, na yung project mo na may anomalya, can be traced back to you eventually, no? Let's say, kahit matagal siya, but eventually, no? You're gonna double think na okay, parang ayoko nang gawin to kasi malaki yung risk na ibalik sa akin yung problema at maging mas malaking fault sa akin to in the future no, as well. So, that's that.
If we take a look at the image of a blockchain, it kind of looks like DNA. Tama ba yung pagkakahalin tulad no, na parang bawat galaw within the ecosystem, bawat numero, may sarili siyang DNA, kaya makikita mo siya?
Correct. So the best way I can describe it no, kapag illustrative purposes naman is para siyang Betamax sa street food no, na may cube, tas may parang stick sa gitna no. Yung stick, yung chain, of course yung cubes, yung mga blocks po natin sa blockchain. Na how it's formed no, is the blocks are formed by different transactions clumped together basically. So all the transactions in the blockchain are tied to one another through the chain itself. And that's how I can imagine it from an illustrative perspective.
Okay, and have you tried already doing a test run of having how do you call that? May blockchain identifier bawat item of the budget. Have you tried it? Have you done a test run?
Yeah, so on my end, no, I do education for the
Okay.
Philippines for blockchain. No? So I myself not yet kasi hindi ko patakaran yun. But the ones who have done pilots for this is my good friends no, from Bayani Chain. Currently, they're the ones leading the blockchain pilot projects for DBM, Department of Budget and Management, last few months ago. And kay Mayor Benjamin Magalong sa Baguio City no, for Good Gov Chain as well. So shout out to them.
So it's already been done there. It's already being implemented.
Correct. So pilots are currently live for the DBM agency around a month ago. And yung kay Mayor Benjamin Galong will be live naman noong October 15th as of discussion kahapon.
Help us understand what data is being used here. Paano siya ina-upload to the blockchain cloud?
So in terms of ano no, in terms of what data is being used, for example, for the pilots for now, yung sa DBM for now are the SARO and different documents no, that are related to the high level procurement process ng kanilang budget. And I believe they're doing test runs on some select verticals for now no, and will scale as it goes forward. Same thing sa Good Gov Chain sa Baguio City. They're currently focusing right now on some initial documents muna on October 15th no, as well before they scale to the whole LGU dun sa region nila. But in essence, ang gusto po nang gawin ni Senator Bam Aquino with 1330 is all the documents regarding procurement and budget no, will be on the blockchain. No? Ang hindi lang hawakan talaga is yung terminal action of sending money to the contractors. No? Kasi ibang usapan na po yan. But anything that involves the procurement of the documents, the bidding process, up until the checking of outputs no, ng mga contractors natin, etc., ideally would be on the blockchain with this new bill.
SARO, meaning the special allotment release order that you need to get funding, right? Who is going to be the one to upload those documents?
So as described as well kahapon sa hearing, no, this whole push for blockchain integration in the government is a two-sided thing. No? Of course, number one dyan is kailangan maayos yung tech. But aside from the tech, meron pa rin dapat tayong people factor ang tawag nila kahapon. No? AK, there are going to be systems in place to make sure that the documents being inputted sa blockchain natin are as correct as possible. No? These are going to be focused, of course, on integrating other emerging technologies like AI, for example, or different LLMs, no, para lang mas tama po ang ating infrastructure, sorry, when it comes to inputting data regarding the whole process. No? So this is still going to be, of course, a tech and a person effort altogether. But hopefully it works out no, in the end.
And for edits and alterations, do we go through a specific website or a system where it can get simple for ordinary people like me who find blockchain technical and sometimes inaccessible? How do you bridge that gap for everyday users?
Completely understand, no? And that's where the data visualization will come in naman, Gretchen. So you have the blockchain, the base layer of technology. That is for the government and the technocrats, no, to look out for as well. And then there will be a separate layer of different providers, no, who will focus on simplifying kasi the data for the public masses, no. They will be in charge of creating the pie charts, different ways to access the data in a simple manner, just like how you search something on Facebook, no. Ayun ang end goal, I believe, as well. Para lang ang isang mamamayan ng Pilipinas ay pwede lang pumunta sa blockchain ng ating gobyerno. They'll search something up as easy 1, 2, 3, and they will get all the information they need to track every peso that they pay in taxes.
Kumbaga parang the technical experts can come up with a front-facing website for ordinary users. Tapos mag-i-input na lang doon kung anong hinahanap. Tama ba?
Correct. Exactly. So these front-facing inputs, whether website or APIs or whatnot, these are still to be decided on. No? Hence why the bill is still ongoing, of course, with the TWB upcoming. But that is the vision as of now.
And of course, the main concern here is data privacy. When you have a lot of information on the cloud, how does the system distinguish between individual information and information that should be open to the public?
Correct, no. So Senator Bam also kahapon, no, also highlighted this part that yung blockchain bill po natin, it would not want to hit, of course, any data privacy laws in the Philippines. That's very sure. Kasi, of course, bawal eh. So, anong mangyayari po dyan, either two ways. It really depends on execution. But two ways no na pwede ito mangyari. Number one is the private data na hindi talaga pwede ilabas sa public ay maging off-chain po siya. So think of it as a hybrid of a blockchain and Web2 systems na combined into one protocol na as well, wherein the data of that you can't release to the public will not exactly be on the blockchain para, of course, mas secure po para sa ating mga partners. No? But the other way as well is there are different ways no on how to create verification railways for these private data without mentioning the specific details about it. No, so for example, let's say the data you want to verify is Gretchen is from Ateneo, same as Giro, no? In that sense, in that example, no, there is a way to use cryptography for it to verify na taga Ateneo yung dalawang taong yan, without it specifically saying to the front-facing website na Ateneo pinag-usapan na school there, if that makes sense. So there's a way to play it around with cryptography and hashing.
Okay. Just to be able to understand the practical applications, siguro let's go to proposal, no? Paano mag-work yun? Kung wari from the department, meron silang budget proposal, tapos syempre may line items yan, di ba? And then we see, for example, DPWH, merong quantity of items, merong bill of, ano ba yun? Bill of items yata, yung presyo nung bawat materyales. Paano yun? Ini-input mo ba yun doon sa system? Tapos makikita ba doon kung wari na overpriced yung bakal, overpriced yung isang materyales na pinopost dito?
Correct, no, Gretchen. So that is one of the visions, see Senator Bam as well with the bill, is it will start as early as part of the proposal process. No, the knack here as well is dun papasok yung ibang technologies na pwedeng ilagay. No, whether this is IoT, AI or whatnot. These will work hand in hand. No, to verify if, for example, the prices are correct. So tama yung example mo. Let's say, for example, a contractor wants to price laptops at, let's say, 50k pesos per laptop, no, where the true price is only around 25,000 pesos. Through AI and the other technologies na pwedeng implement, it will already check in real time na kung tama ba ang kanyang market rate para sa laptops na iyon. And that data or that information will be then put on the blockchain to signify na, okay, this contractor did not follow these standard protocols or this procedure and may mali po tayo sa datos dito. So hence, automatic rejected na po siya as well. So pwede ganun mangyari. No? Again, it's still a work in progress. That's why it's going to be going through a very deep TWG no, with different industry experts to make it fine as well. But
so
I believe
artificial
that,
intelligence is also at play here.
yes, correct. So the bill does specify as well that other technologies will be into play. And during the hearing kahapon, no, Senator Bam kept repeating that AI is a must as well to work hand in hand with blockchain technology.
And which countries can we model after in which they've used this technology for the budget?
So for example, correct. So for example, no, we have two models right now. We have Georgia and Estonia. No, both of these countries kasi they have implemented processes sa kanilang mga gobyerno, government processes in terms of land registry and or procurement process. No, now I would say though that the examples or the models that we can use aside from these two countries are still limited. But I think that's a beauty in it. If you look at the global landscape right now, Gretchen, that the Philippines is one of the first few countries exploring the budget, the blockchain perspective, no, when it comes to this new technology as well. So which makes everything even more exciting.
No, it's actually a very, very good proposal because when you have technology there, it standardizes everything, which is probably the reason why many of our processes aren't yet digitalized. What kind of confidence do you have that this bill would get passed?
Well, of course, hopes are very high. No? I'd love to, I'd love to pray that it will be, get passed on. No? eventually as well. But from so far, no, with the support of Secretary Aguda from the ICT, with the support of Senator Robin Padilla as well, and other close senators, no, I do think it has a good chance of passing naman, especially given the current climate, no, in terms of the issues with DPWH, flood control projects.
It is a perfect time to
right,
pitch
yeah.
this bill. Kasi pag hindi ka pumirma, alam na.
Exactly. Yeah. Hats off to Bam, right? To Senator Bam for putting it at the right time as well.
Well, Jiro, on a final note, you are an educator, part of Bitskwela. What possibilities do you see here, opportunities for professionals in the Philippines to learn more about this and the developing industry as well?
Of course. So one thing I always highlight now whenever I go to different provinces and different sectors now is that all the skill sets you use in non-blockchain industries now or work matters can be applied to the blockchain or to the industry rather. Whether you're a writer, social media manager, you're a website developer, you're a marketer, you're a host, you're this or that, all of these have spots in the blockchain industry now. And I do believe so that with this bill 1330 and all the other bills passing Congress recently by our good friends Congress now, the blockchain industry is at the turning point in the Philippines now, where we will see more exponential growth in the next coming years as well. And I'm very excited as well to be one of the forefronts as well in education towards this more blockchain-ready Philippines. But yeah.
That's encouraging news. Hindi lang programmers ang hinahanap, kundi people from different industries. We'll probably hear more about blockchain. I do have a suggestion though. Maybe you can use this technology for casino winnings, diba? Kasi parang dun din dumadaan yung pera. It would be interesting to see that, yung labas-pasok ng pera. Tapos pati din sa mga e-wallets and so. Pero syempre the data privacy is a legit concern, and we hope to get more light on that as this develops. In the meantime, maraming salamat sa iyo for joining us and explaining to us how blockchain technology works alongside transparency in the budget process. We have Giro Reyes, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Bitskwela.
Thank you, Gretchen. Good morning.
Senator Panfilo Lacson has stirred controversy with a cryptic social media post comparing some of his colleagues to noisy animals. More in this report.
Tensions in the Senate continue to brew as Senate President Pro Tempore Panfilo Lacson took to social media with another cryptic post, this time likening his colleagues to noisy animals. On X, formerly Twitter, Senator Panfilo Lacson wrote, "Help! Is there a veterinary clinic with an animal psychiatric ward? We have a crazy cat that keeps meowing on the ground floor and an annoying dog that keeps barking on the upper floor." While Lacson made no direct mention of names, the remark came a day after Senator Rodante Marcoleta's privileged speech on the Senate floor. Marcoleta had called out Lacson's earlier disclosure that almost all senators in the 19th Congress had inserted at least 100 billion in the 2025 national budget. Lacson has already explained in the caucus that his statement was not meant to put the Senate or its colleagues on the spot. He said his remarks were meant to highlight anomalies in alleged ghost flood control projects uncovered during Blue Ribbon Committee hearings. Senate President Tito Soto also clarified that amendments to the budget are part of the regular legislative process. He stressed that insertions made during bicameral committee discussions are different from floor amendments, which are legally introduced during deliberations and approved by vote. But Marcoleta raised doubts, asking if Soto never made any insertion throughout his decades-long career as senator and Senate President. Soto stood firm, saying he has never tolerated insertions and vowed all amendments will now be made openly on the Senate floor for transparency.
I guarantee you I have never made any insertion in the budget because insertions are not tolerated, and I will never do that because when I say insertions, that means it is inserted and it is not done in second reading. But it is done in second reading, and that was my explanation of the 100 billion mentioned in the newspapers. When there are individual amendments and institutional amendments and done on second reading, that is not insertion.
Meanwhile, Senator Amy Marcos has expressed frustration over what she described as confusion in the Senate regarding budget insertions and amendments. She also questioned reports that the Blue Ribbon Committee will no longer hold hearings, with Lacson expected instead to release a partial report. Lacson, however, countered that Marcos should simply attend the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings, listen to the discussions on the Senate floor, and read the announcements in the All Senators chat group to stay updated.
Up next, how exactly should we prepare for the big one? Let's discuss that with Dr. Mahar Lagmay of the UP Resilience Institute. Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. Here at Morning Matters, we talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind headlines. At least 72 people have died in Cebu after a destructive 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck the province. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reported 294 injuries, most of them in Bogos City, where 180 people were hurt. Some 4,000 families, about 20,000 individuals, have been displaced by the quake. The province continues to be shaken by aftershocks as strong as magnitude 5. The Cebu earthquake serves as a stark reminder of what experts have long warned Metro Manila about, the big one. Now, according to PHIVOLCS, this potential earthquake could reach magnitude 7.2, with a projected impact of over 51,500 deaths and at least 12% of residential buildings heavily damaged. And joining us now to discuss the recent Cebu earthquake and what it teaches us about preparing for the big one, we have Dr. Mahar Lagmay, Executive Director of the UP Resilience Institute. Good morning. Welcome back to Morning Matters.
Hello, good morning, Gretchen.
Hey, Doc, una-una, help us understand. I believe that the fault that triggered the 6.9 earthquake is unnamed and unmapped. How strange is that, and how often does that occur?
Well, that's not the first time that it's an unidentified fault that caused the earthquake. So there were faults that were identified in Bogo, in Daang Bantayan, and other parts of Cebu. But based on the earthquake epicenters, the source of the earthquakes, they don't plot in those mapped faults. So that means that we need to identify the fault that caused that earthquake. In Bohol, in 2013, there was also that kind of unidentified mapping. There was the North Bohol fault, which was absent before the 2013 Bohol earthquake occurred. Also in Mindanao, there were faults there that were not identified, and some others.
So hindi po siya nakakagulat. Posibleng mangyari ito. Posible din ba na ganun din ang mangyari dito sa Metro Manila, na hindi yung Marikina Valley Fault na binabantayan po natin tatama yung ganito kalakas na earthquake?
Well, yung Metro Manila mas well mapped, yung Marikina Valley Fault, east and west, namapa ng mabuti yan. I myself have been doing some trenches, and I've seen that fault to be really there, many times. So mas maganda ang mapping sa Manila. And the work, the identification of faults is only as good as the amount of work that we put into it.
Okay.
Sometimes they are also hidden. Kasi nasa ilalim, natakpan na, so hindi makita from the surface. And then we find out, or we realize that it's there only after the earthquake happens. And important kasi talaga yung mapping nito, kasi one of the hazards ng earthquakes is yung ground rupture. You need to know that so that you don't build on top of it, kasi that rupture is very powerful. It can break apart any infrastructure. Yung ground shaking, that is dependent on how near it is to the fault that moved. So it's very important in preparing for earthquakes.
Okay, and how do you assess the impact of the 6.9 magnitude earthquake? Ito ba ay nagmukhang sobrang lakas dahil hindi handa yung mga infrastruktura dun sa mga syudad at munisipalidad? Or is this comparable to what we might experience, only a little bit stronger, with a 7.1 forecasted, the big one earthquake here in Manila?
Ayun, yung earthquake was very near those places that were hard hit, di ba? May mga nag-collapse na mga buildings, na naging parang ano no mga cards na nagiba. So, iyon po. Kung nasundan natin yung building code, supposedly, yung bagong building code, ano? So, supposedly, dapat mag-withstand siya. Kasi nakita ko parang intensity 7 ang instrumental record. Probably, if it's intensity 8, dapat yung building code, kung nasunod yon ng mabuti, ay baka hindi gumuho yon or mas malaki yung chances. Of course, marami mga factors at play here, no? Pero yung ganong klaseng intensity, yun ang mga talagang pinag-aaralan ng mga engineer and they're trying to put it in the code so that our buildings can withstand such impacts.
So baka maging ganito din yung itsura at mas malala pa sa Metro
Sa Metro
Manila,
Manila?
lalo na dun sa mga mas luma.
Sa Metro Manila po, yun po, meron tayo nakikita mga buildings na nagtatayuan na lang, hindi ba? I don't really know if they are built according to the building code. Maaring nagtipid, maaring may corruption, we don't know. So, hindi pa naman din huli ang lahat. We can have them inspected by structural engineers before the big one happens. So, marami pa po tayong pwedeng gawin before that earthquake, that big one that we're expecting. We have to prepare for the hazards and we have to make sure that all of our structures are according to the building code.
If people will do their due diligence, which usually nga yung mga nandaraya hindi na ginagawa yan, hopefully, no? So kanya-kanya na lang din tayo ng pag-iingat. Pero ito nangyayari ngayon sa Bogo. Kanina we had a reporter, malakas daw yung aftershock, ay parang hindi daw aftershock. Yun ba ay inaasahan talaga o parang ito ay talagang malakas na seismic activity in that region?
Yes, may nakita nga ako kaninang madaling araw na magnitude 5 or a little bit above magnitude 5. Ang mga aftershocks po, by definition, ay nangyayari after the main shock, no? And normally, ini-expect natin na swarm of aftershocks yan. And it can last for a month or more.
Matagal pa.
Matagal. Pero habang tumatagal, humihina ng humihina. So we had a magnitude 6.9 and the one this morning was magnitude 5 point something. I think 5.1. So maybe magnitude 5. But it was nonetheless still strong. Magnitude 5 actually released a lot of energy and that's why it was felt and scared a lot of people na nagpapanik na actually kasi na-scared na talaga sila. They don't want to go back to their houses because of yung mga damage na katulad yan sa picture. Ganun din po ang nangyari doon sa Mindanao, ano? Yung nasa tent, doon sila natutulog sa labas. Ang dami-dami po natutulog doon sa kalye, naka-tent, dahil po takot yung mga taong bumalik because of the aftershocks.
Oo. And I guess people are asking, no, how does this seismic activity relate to the ones up north? Meron ba yung epekto na kapag may gumalaw dito sa once in 400 years, baka gumalaw niya rin dito sa taas?
Kailangan lang maintindihan natin na ang Philippines ay nasa Pacific Ring of Fire. Marami tayong faults na gumagalaw. There's what we call a stress transfer. Kapag gumalaw, for example, yung fault sa Leyte, nata-transfer po yung stress, nandun po naiipon naman dun sa kabila, and then yun yung may malaking chance na magkaroon ng earthquake. Pero medyo malayo naman yung north na tinatanong mo, but there's some kind of relationship and that is the one that we're looking at, lalo na dito sa National Institute of Geological Sciences, si Dr. Mario Aurelio. Kumbaga, kinakalculate yan at pinipredict kung saan yung susunod na maaaring gumalaw na fault.
Okay, bilang panghuli, ano ang inyong reminders, no, sa lahat? Every time this happens, we have to put it in people's consciousness that the big one is just a matter of time in occurring. Ano po ang inyong paalala, pati na rin sa ating mga local governments?
Okay, paalala ko lang na makinig kay Doc Ted Esguerra, no? Nakikita ko siya ngayon diyan. Maraming safety tips para sa response. Pero bago pa tayo magresponde, ngayon pa lang ay marami na tayong pwedeng preparations na gawin, no? Yung mga hazards, alamin po natin yung hazards, like wag tayo magtatayo sa fault line, Yung building code, sinusundan natin. Yung apoy, kailangan siguradong hindi magliliyab yan kapag magka-earthquake. Makakabawas tayo. Yung tsunami, alamin natin kung maaaring magka-tsunami sa inyong lugar. Know your neighborhood. Prepare for these hazards. We are expecting and we know that the big one will definitely happen. We just don't know exactly when. So we need to prepare now.
Well, Doc, we're happy that your group is getting more attention and more resources from our lawmakers. Sana po ay lumaki pa ang inyong grupo at inyong capacity to be able to help us predict and actually be prepared for these things. But in the meantime, maraming salamat for joining us this morning and helping us understand the latest earthquake in Cebu. We have Doc Mahar Lagmay, Executive Director of the UP Resilience Institute. Doon na po tayo sa partner ninyo, no? Nakasing gawa po ninyo. Galing sa Red Alert. Maraming salamat.
Sige, bye-bye. Thank you.
Authorities have officially ended search, rescue, and retrieval operations in Cebu after Tuesday's 6.9 magnitude earthquake. The Office of Civil Defense said all local governments have accounted for residents, allowing teams to demobilize and shift to relief and rehabilitation. Aftershocks, however, continue to rattle the province, forcing many to remain outdoors. Officials said about 4,000 families, or some 20,000 individuals, are still displaced. And joining us now, reporting to us live on the ground, we have Doc Ted Esguera, a rescue and disaster response expert. Una-una, Doc, nasaan po kayo ngayon?
Yung station po namin sa Bogo. Bogo po kami. Tapos pina-assess sa amin yung Medellin sa San Remigio. And ngayong araw, Daang Bantayan. So andito po ako sa harap ng yung
Doc, kagabi po kayo po ay nagpo-post na maraming aftershocks. Gaano kalakas yung mga aftershocks na po na yun?
Yeah. Totoo po yan. Kaya disturb yung sleep namin kasi nakatira lang po kami sa isang terminal. No? At doon kami. Tapos every time mag-aftershock, takbuhan lahat sa labas. Ang sunod-sunod, every minute, few minutes, mag-aftershock. Kaya ito yung namin, yung aming tulog pati kain. Disturb kami.
Apektado.
So, ang lang masabi ko lang, Gretchen, no. Naka-stand down na yung search and rescue dito sa Bogo sa Ground Zero. Stand down na siya. More on yung medical component para sa mga nasaktan at ay operational, sakto na yung operation kasi although yung mga pasyente nasa labas ng ospital, ayaw sa loob kasi puro tremor, takot na. So makikita mo ngayon, wala na kasi akong picture, balikan ko yon. Yung mga pasyente naka-tent sa labas, naka-tent lang sila. Pero yung mga doctors from other agencies, para matulungan lang, ma-augment, nagdatingan pati may andun yung Red Cross, yung sa Iloilo, may mga doctors pinadala din para mapuno nila yung need, no, kasi ang influx ng patients. So, lahat naman okay except yung mga relief kailangan lang siguro i-centralize kasi along the way kinunan ko pa nga ng video ang mga tao nasa gilid humingi ng pagkain, tubig, tarpaulin kasi ayaw nilang bumalik. Kung tingnan mo naman, no, tingnan mo ba naman yung raffles na yan. So, every now and then, lalabas sila. Ayaw nila sa loob.
Doc,
Kasi
sabi nga
aftershock-
po ng OCD, tapos na nga itong search and rescue, Pero alam natin kayo ay expert dyan. So, at this point, wala na. Doon po sa lahat ng mga pinuntahan po ninyo. Bukod dyan sa Bogo, kamusta naman po yung San Remigio, yung Medellin, yung mga towns po na yon?
Ang San Remigio, inassess namin kahapon sa utos ni Colonel Conde ng OCD. So, inikot namin. Wala nang search and rescue. Ang nireport na lang namin is the people just need power, tubig, mainly tubig, pagkain kasi nahirapan magluto, walang power. Nahirapan doon kasi magsimula sa power. So, although may linya na ngayon, na nakakapag, they can use the cellphone, na-establish na yung communication. Ang need lang nila is humihingi sa amin tarpaulin para makapag-tent sa gilid habang i-repair yung bahay. Kasi yun yung issue nila ngayon eh. Ayaw nilang pumasok. So kahapon naman, may bahay talagang sira. Ang kinausap ko yung community na kung pwede patirhin mo na doon sa terrace ng isang bahay na sabihin ko natin very sturdy, no? Okay naman daw. Tapos nagabot lang ako konting pera. Para lang, sige, pumayag naman. So, yun yung needs nila ngayon. So, kung may mga na sumusubaybay sa program mo, na kung may kailangan sila dito, huwag na po tayong pumunta rito sa search and rescue kasi ang dami pang nagdadatingan. Ang kailangan po ng Bago, San Remio, Daan Bantayan, ito yung mga affected areas, no, sa Medellin, ay yung mga kailangan immediate needs, tubig, hygiene kit, mga balde din, tapos pagkain, no, and tarpaulin, na kung medyo maano naman, mga repair materials para sa bahay nila.
Okay. Ito po sabi po ni Doc Mahar, kasi siya po yung na-interview ko bago kayo eh. Ang sabi po niya, itong mga aftershocks, usually, mga isang buwan nagtatagal. Ano pong assessment po ninyo dyan? Gaano katagal kaya mga tao na hindi makakapasok sa kanilang mga tahanan?
Ngayon kasi, Gretch, no, maganda kasi simula kahapon at ngayon, kasi I will start kahapon kasi kahapon ng early morning kami dito, no. Hindi po umuulan. So wala pa tayong problema. Yes, ang mga aftershocks, no, depende sa it can even last for months, no. Weeks to months yan, agree ako. Kagabi nga lang, nako, ang interval, hindi oras. Less than hour. Minsan dikit pa, less than 10 minutes. So, hindi ko alam kung paano. Basta as long as active ng sige aftershock, I cannot really force people to go back to their houses. Ang gobyerno naman are looking into areas na kung pwede sana magkaroon ng tent, no, sa mga open spaces na safe, which ginagawa ngayon. Dumating yung Toledo City, may mga tents, may mga ibang mga LGU na they're okay, hindi naman tinamaan sa lindol, na nagdadala, even water trucks nila. I saw Toledo, Tagbilaran, Davao, no? So with all their water tanks, so actually doon nga kami naligo eh. So yun ang kailangan sa ngayon while we are rehabilitating. But
Doc, kamusta
yes,
naman po yung mga kalsada? Kasi nga kung pupunta po dyan yung mga magbibigay ng relief, how are the roads? Are they passable?
Passable na siya. Passable na po. Along the way, nakita namin yung isa, pinipison na siya, no? Kasi may crack yung ilang parte ng daan. Tapos, nire-repair nila kasi nga, very active movement, 24/7 po yung movement ng mga humanitarian workers at mga government agencies facilitating. To give credit to the government, everyone is here. Even DENR. I really saw them before my eyes. The scientists na pinadala ng P-Box, nandito lahat. Parang pinagsabay-sabay kami. Parang what do you need? What can you offer? So ikaw dito. So very protected kami. So pag scientist ka, gano'n. Nakakakuha. Even the church at even private individuals. Ang gusto lang natin i-remind pala, kung magbigay po kayo ng mga donation, idaan niyo po sa center kasi wag po tayong magkanya-kanya magbigay ito kasi kawawa naman yung community. So i-centralize natin because the government, the DSWD, is actually putting up areas na kung saan may needs talaga, no, after needs analysis, na doon ito kailangan, hindi yung in random tayo para in order po yung ating humanitarian execution.
Okay. Doc, yung pag-unang dating niyo po dyan, ay may naabutan po ba kayo na natabunan dito sa mga pagguho? At pangalawa, ano pong assessment ninyo doon sa mga structural integrity ng buildings dyan?
Well, merong mga buildings na sturdy naman, no? They can withstand. So, depende siguro paano siya ginawa. Yung pinagstayan namin, ang ganda ng beam naman actually. That because the people are traumatized, they run away, and that includes me disturbed sleep. Kasi ako, ayoko naman sabing magaling ako. Nang tiningnan ko, this will not fall. But every now and then, if they run, I always wake up. Kasi magtakbuhan talaga, tapos may sigaw pa. So yun, matibay. Yung tinira namin, nakapira kami matibay. May mga areas na nakita ko sa San Remio, yung namatayan tayo ng Bureau of Fire Protection, Coast Guard, yung referee kasi may basketball. Talagang medyo hindi maganda pagkagawa, no? Kaya siguro ganun katindi, no? So, I cannot say anything sa isang sample to, no? Ito, although this is a private building, ito yung kanyang mga debris. So, I really cannot really assess because we don't have quite a uniformity on how building is made. Number
Okay.
two, where the building is placed. No?
Yes.
So, depende sa
Oo.
mga ano.
Kung sakali ho, kasi syempre ngayon po ay maswerte dahil walang pag-ulan. Pero pag may dumating po dyan na bagyo o kaya yung habagat, paano po malalaman ng ating mga kababayan kung ano ang building na matibay? Ano po yung, may indicators po ba kayo na parang ito, reliable yan dito kung magtatago? Imbis na kumari sa labas lang talaga, ano pong inyong advice? Kasi syempre may ulan na maaaring mangyari na at dumating.
Yung ginawa po dito sa locality na I can really speak generally, no. May matibay na area katulad yung terminal namin. Doon po, actually doon ang main support services. So it can still be used for an extended, if in case ipag-suksok kami doon, we can still have it, no. Secondly, the open spaces are being used para sa sa tent. So, may tentage po tayo na tumulong naman ibang agency, even international agencies nandun, no. Kaya I think we can ang kailangan lang talaga kasi wala naman akong gym. Kung may katulad sana ng gym sa San Remigio, nadali naman, that's the issue. So we will rely on tentage, which I know it can withstand because when I check the tentage, mga tents, no, matitibay naman kasi designed for disaster. In fact, kasi I'm with Makati Rescue at nakita ko rin yung MMDA, no, na pinadala ni Artes. Tapos yung Valenzuela Rescue, yung Valenzuela Rescue. Nagdala rin sila ng mga cubicles to ng privacy ng tao. Tapos yung may mga international teams, na sa akin, yung Project Michelangelo, React. Pati fuel nga, natutuwa talaga ako, Gretchen, no? Parang yung out of nowhere, people will just come to you, Doc Ted, mag-donate akong generator. Doc Ted, kaninang umaga, hundreds of loaves of bread dumating. Mamaya, darating pa, tapos tubig. So, mamimigay ako sa mga areas, ibigay ko sa DSWD.
Okay.
Or kung saan nila ipapadala sa akin.
Okay. Doc Ted, sino po kasama niyo dyan? Ano pong grupo?
Ang kasama ko ngayon, Makita. Yung Makita,
Okay.
rescue tools yan sila.
Oho.
Pero rescue team din sila. Sila nag-provide sa akin. Tapos yung Wilderness Search and Rescue,
Okay.
Valenzuela Rescue, ang Makati, nandun sila sa hospital.
Opo.
So hiwalay-hiwalay kami.
It's very good to see you there on the ground. Medyo kumakalma po kami pag nakikita namin kayo dyan. So we hope that you stay safe out there. Again, muli panawagan po mula kay Doc Ted. Medical supplies, medical relief, power, tubig, pagkain, tarpaulin, repair materials, hygiene kits, balde, yan po yung mga nabanggit niya kanina. We continue to stay updated with your social media accounts. Maraming salamat for joining us and giving us the latest
Thank you,
from
Brett. Padayon.
Bogos City and San Remigio. Ingat po kayo, Doc.
Okay, padayon.
Padayon po. Okay, as mentioned by Doc Ted, if you want to help out our kababayans in Cebu, better to go through centralized channels to avoid any sort of turmoil or chaos. And with that, Alagang Kapatid Foundation is knocking on your doors as we lend a helping hand to all those affected by the recent earthquake in Visayas. You can send your donations to any of the bank accounts listed on the left side of your screen. You can also scan the Maya QR code that is flashed before you right now. Your help will go a long way in providing relief and aid to our fellow countrymen in quake-hit areas. If you are missing the information, you can just head on over to the Alagang Kapatid Facebook page. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day and the weekend matter. My name is Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time. Stay safe and stay dry.